Chapter 7 of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring is titled In the House of Tom Bombadil and follows the hobbits as they stay at Tom Bombadil's home in the Old Forest before continuing their journey to Rivendell. The chapter begins with the hobbits enjoying a peaceful and restful time at Tom Bombadil's house. They are well fed and well rested, and Tom and his wife Goldberry entertain them with songs and stories. Frodo asks Tom about the strange powers he seems to possess, but Tom merely shrugs off the question and tells them that he is simply Tom Bombadil, and that is all there is to it. Tom also gives the hobbits advice about their journey, telling them to be wary of the Barrow-wights and advising them to stay on the path. He also teaches them a song that they can use to protect themselves from danger. The hobbits are grateful for Tom's help, but they are also left feeling uneasy about his strange powers and mysterious nature. As they prepare to leave, Tom gives each of the hobbits a gift to aid them on their journey. He gives Frodo a coat of mail made of interlocking rings, which will protect him from harm, and he gives Sam a small box of soil from the Old Forest, which will help him grow a garden in the future. Merry and Pippin are given small, silver belts, which will help them in times of trouble. Before the hobbits depart, Tom sings a song that tells the story of the world and the forces of good and evil that are at play in it. The song fills the hobbits with a sense of awe and wonder, and they are left with a newfound understanding of the magnitude of their quest. The chapter ends with the hobbits saying goodbye to Tom and Goldberry and continuing their journey to Rivendell. They are grateful for the help and guidance they have received from Tom, but they are also aware that their journey is far from over and that they will face many more dangers and challenges before they reach their destination. Overall, In the House of Tom Bombadil is a chapter that serves to deepen the hobbits' understanding of the world beyond the Shire. It introduces the character of Tom Bombadil, who is a significant figure in the story and plays an important role in the hobbits' journey. The chapter emphasizes the importance of unexpected allies and gifts, as well as the value of taking time to rest and gather strength before facing new challenges. Finally, it highlights the sense of wonder and awe that pervades the world, hinting at the larger forces at play in the story and the epic nature of the Hobbit's quest. Chapter 8 of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring is titled Fog on the Barrow Downs and follows the hobbits as they continue their journey from Tom Bombadil's house towards the town of Bree. The chapter begins with the hobbits getting lost in a dense fog that rolls in while they are traveling through the Barrow Downs. The fog is eerie and disorienting, and the hobbits quickly become separated from each other. Frodo, Sam, and Pippin find themselves in a tomb-like chamber, where they are attacked by a Barrow-wight, a ghostly figure who attempts to put them into a death-like sleep. Merry, who has been separated from the others, manages to find Tom Bombadil, who rescues the hobbits from the Barrow-wights' clutches. Tom has power over the Barrow-wights, and he is able to dispel the fog and rescue the hobbits from danger. After regrouping, the hobbits continue on their journey to Bree, where they hope to meet Gandalf. Along the way, they encounter a group of Black Riders, who are searching for Frodo and the ring. The hobbits are able to evade the Black Riders and make it safely to Bree, where they are welcomed by the innkeeper, Butterbur. The chapter ends with the hobbits settling in for the night at the inn, where they await Gandalf's arrival. They are relieved to have made it to Bree safely, but they are also aware that the danger they face is far from over. Overall, Fog on the Barrow Downs is a chapter that highlights the danger and darkness that the hobbits face on their journey. It introduces the Barrow-wights, who are a terrifying and malevolent force that the hobbits must contend with, and it emphasizes the importance of unexpected allies, such as Tom Bombadil, in the hobbits' quest. The chapter also introduces the Black Riders, who are one of the primary antagonists of the story. The hobbits' encounter with the Black Riders underscores the danger that they are in and the importance of secrecy and discretion in their journey. Finally, the chapter highlights the hobbits' growing awareness of the magnitude of their quest and the dangers they will face along the way. The hobbits are forced to confront their own mortality and the reality of the evil that they are up against, and they are left with a sense of unease and uncertainty about what lies ahead. Chapter 9 of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring is titled At the Sign of the Prancing Pony. In this chapter, the hobbits finally arrive at the town of Bree, where they hope to meet Gandalf. They soon discover that Gandalf has not yet arrived, and they must find a way to pass the time while they wait for him. The hobbits decide to visit the local inn, the Prancing Pony, to get some food and rest. They soon realize that the inn is full of interesting and mysterious characters, including a group of men who seem to be keeping a close eye on them. The hobbits also encounter a strange man named Strider, who claims to know Gandalf and offers to help the hobbits on their journey. The chapter is significant for several reasons. Firstly, it introduces Strider, who will become an important character in the hobbits' journey. Strider is revealed to be a member of the Rangers, a group of skilled fighters who are tasked with protecting the land from the forces of evil. Strider is initially mistrusted by the hobbits, but he eventually earns their trust and becomes their ally. Secondly, the chapter introduces the theme of secrecy and the importance of keeping a low profile. The hobbits are warned to keep a low profile by Butterbur, the innkeeper, who tells them that they are being watched by strangers who may be enemies. The hobbits learn the importance of being discreet and cautious, as their journey is fraught with danger and they must avoid drawing attention to themselves. Finally, the chapter is significant because it highlights the hobbits' growing awareness of the power and significance of the ring. The hobbits are forced to confront the reality that the ring is a powerful and dangerous artifact, and that they are being hunted by the forces of evil who seek to possess it. The chapter ends with Frodo deciding to reveal the existence of the ring to his companions, and the hobbits realizing that they must be more careful than ever in their journey. Overall, At the Sign of the Prancing Pony is an important chapter that introduces new characters and themes, and advances the plot by increasing the tension and danger of the hobbits' journey. The chapter sets the stage for the hobbits' eventual departure from Bree, and the beginning of their journey towards Rivendell, where they hope to find safety and guidance. Chapter 10 of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring is titled Strider. In this chapter, the hobbits are forced to leave the safety of Bree after the forces of evil come looking for them. They decide to travel with Strider, who has offered to guide them to Rivendell, where they hope to find refuge and guidance. The chapter is significant for several reasons. Firstly, it further develops the character of Strider, who is revealed to be Aragorn, the heir to the throne of Gondor. Aragorn is a complex character, who is burdened by the weight of his heritage and the responsibilities that come with it. He is initially mistrusted by the hobbits, but he gradually earns their trust and respect through his bravery and knowledge of the land. Secondly, the chapter continues the theme of secrecy and danger that was introduced in the previous chapter. The hobbits are pursued by the Nazgul, terrifying creatures who are servants of the Dark Lord Sauron. The Nazgul are searching for the ring, which they believe is in the possession of the hobbits. The hobbits must travel quickly and quietly to avoid being caught by the Nazgul, who are always close behind them. Finally, the chapter is significant because it highlights the hobbits' growing understanding of the ring and its power. Frodo is struggling with the weight of the ring, and he begins to understand the terrible burden that it represents. He is also beginning to understand the danger that the ring poses to those around him, as the Nazgul are willing to kill anyone who stands in their way. Overall, Strider is an important chapter that continues to develop the characters and themes of the story. The hobbits are faced with increasing danger and difficulty as they travel towards Rivendell, and they must rely on the help and guidance of Strider to make it through. The chapter sets the stage for the hobbits' eventual arrival in Rivendell, where they will receive important guidance and support in their quest to destroy the ring. In Chapter 11 of The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, titled A Knife in the Dark, the hobbits and Aragorn continue their journey to Rivendell. However, their progress is interrupted when they are attacked by the Nazgul, who have been tracking them in their search for the One Ring. The chapter is significant in several ways, as it builds on the themes of fear, danger, and the power of the ring that have been present throughout the story so far. The chapter opens with the hobbits and Aragorn taking a rest at an old ruined watchtower called Weathertop. However, their peaceful respite is soon interrupted by the arrival of the Nazgul, who attack them in the middle of the night. The Nazgul are terrifying creatures, and their presence fills the hobbits with fear and dread. Frodo, in particular, feels the weight of the ring heavily, and he is filled with despair as he realizes the danger that he has put his friends in. The attack by the Nazgul is one of the most intense and frightening scenes in the book, as the hobbits and Aragorn are forced to fight for their lives against these terrifying foes. The scene is made even more dramatic by the fact that the Nazgul are invisible, making it difficult for the hobbits and Aragorn to fight back effectively. However, the attack is not entirely without hope. Aragorn proves himself to be a skilled fighter, and he is able to drive off the Nazgul with the help of his sword and some fire. The hobbits are also able to hold their own, with Sam in particular proving himself to be a brave and resourceful fighter. The attack by the Nazgul has several significant consequences for the story. Firstly, it reinforces the idea that the hobbits are in grave danger, and that the ring must be destroyed in order to keep it out of the hands of the Dark Lord Sauron. Secondly, it further develops the character of Aragorn, who shows himself to be a skilled and resourceful fighter, as well as a loyal friend to the hobbits. Finally, it sets the stage for the hobbits' eventual arrival in Rivendell, where they will receive the help and guidance that they need to complete their quest. Overall, A Knife in the Dark is a tense and dramatic chapter that further develops the themes and characters of the story. It is a turning point in the hobbits' journey, as they come face to face with the terrifying power of the Nazgul, and are forced to confront the fact that their quest is far more dangerous and difficult than they had ever imagined. Chapter 12 of The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien is titled Flight to the Ford, and it follows the hobbits and Aragorn as they continue their journey to Rivendell, while being pursued by the Nazgul. This chapter is significant in that it marks the climax of the hobbits' journey, as they finally arrive in Rivendell and receive the help that they need to continue their quest. The chapter begins with the hobbits and Aragorn continuing their journey towards Rivendell, but they are soon overtaken by the Nazgul once again. The hobbits are forced to flee for their lives, with Frodo carrying the ring and Aragorn protecting them with his sword. The chase is intense and dangerous, with the Nazgul pursuing the hobbits relentlessly through the countryside. As the hobbits and Aragorn approach the river Bruinen, they realize that they are trapped. The Nazgul have caught up with them, and there seems to be no way to escape. However, Aragorn has a plan. He urges Frodo to continue on to Rivendell, while he stays behind to face the Nazgul and buy the hobbits time to escape. Aragorn draws his sword and charges the Nazgul, engaging in a fierce battle. Meanwhile, Frodo and the other hobbits continue on towards Rivendell. As they cross the river, Frodo is struck by a deadly wound from a Morgul blade, a weapon of the Nazgul. He becomes weaker and weaker as they continue on, until he eventually collapses from the pain and the poison in his wound. Just when it seems that all hope is lost, the power of the elves comes to their aid. Elrond, the Lord of Rivendell, sends a powerful flood down the river, washing away the Nazgul and saving Frodo and the hobbits. Gandalf, who had been missing for much of the journey, arrives at the last moment and helps Frodo to recover from his wound. The chapter ends with Frodo awakening in Rivendell, surrounded by his friends and allies. He learns that he has been saved by the power of the elves, and that his journey is far from over. He also learns more about the true nature of the ring, and the danger that it poses to the world. Overall, Flight to the Ford is a dramatic and intense chapter that marks the climax of the hobbits' journey. It is a turning point in the story, as the hobbits finally arrive in Rivendell and receive the help that they need to continue their quest. The chapter also reinforces the themes of danger, courage, and the power of friendship and alliance, as the hobbits and their allies work together to overcome the overwhelming power of the Nazgul.